Welcome back to the league that means nothing on Go Again Gaming.
Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, and welcome back to TLTMN Season 4. We are still inside of week number 1 of the event. My name is Kyle. Joining me is the lovely Callum, and we, of course, are here on the Go Again Gaming channel. Thank you very much for having us. We've got more games, and I'm looking forward to this one. It is a WTR showdown, Callum, with Chris playing Katsu and Carlos playing Rhinar.
Today's sponsor for The League That Means Nothing is a returning one in My Metal Cards. Based out of Malaysia, they produce tokens and markers that are made out of metal. All proceeds that they get are used for giveaways, events like this one, creators and artists. You can use the promo code Let's Play TLTMN4 to get 5% off store-wide with any order of 3 cards or above, getting this added TLTMN Syndra exclusive for free. That's Let's Play TLTMN4 to get 5% off store-wide with any order of 3 cards or above, getting this TLTMN Syndra exclusive added for free. Thank you very much to My Metal Cards. Make sure you go and check them out.
Well, I love a bit of Rhinar. I know a few of the locals back home in Canterbury in England like a bit of Rhinar as well, and looks to me like Carlos might be somewhat of a big Rhinar fan.
You can say that one again. I mean, look how many things he's got signed that's Sip. You got the Marvel Rhinar, you got your 2 claws. Oh, he has cooked here. Right, we are going to be starting this one off with Chris Chalk on the play, swinging in the Kadachi for 1.
I think we might see this play 1 or 2 times this game, Carl.
Picture 0 cost blue to swing Kadachi for 1, giving it go again. Yeah. Pretty good.
So I'm told by a little pocket Rhinar player at home that this should be Rhinar favoured.
Okay.
Right?
Well, he's taken damage, so our favourite can it be?
100%. I mean, what are you supposed to do on turn 0? So, look, Brute is a class that likes to do a bit of blocking, bit of attacking, somewhat of a mid-range class, if you will. We've got a bit of a Brute expert on Carlos here.
Absolutely.
He's featured on not 1, but 2 Roll of Honor lists for Rhinar, should he ever get there.
Very nice.
In the won a skirmish and a pro quest with the Green Man himself. So somewhat of a Rhinar pro over here.
I would argue if you're committing into the Marvel Rhinar, you're potentially already in too deep. But he clearly loves the big green machine. Some early damage here for Chris. That 3rd attack is going to get blocked out. The Descendant Gust Wave, of course. Combo not enabled this time round. Just asking the card is Chris. And like every Rhinar player, we start the game by rolling the Scab Skins. Rolls a 2, so still going to be down onto that 1 AP, but can still threaten something. And here comes Big Fat CNC pitching away a blue.
And look, we've just seen Descendant Gust Wave played.
Yep.
Notably, combos quite well with the newly unbanned Bonds of Ancestry Red. However,
I've heard that's a good card.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. Not a bad one. But this game was played, unfortunately, before the unbanning of Bonds of Ancestry Red. I'm sure Chris is probably very happy to have that card back.
No, absolutely.
However, a little birdie tells me that Chris is actually an illusionist fan. So something a bit different here for him, maybe.
Very different. Very different.
Big Dromai fan in the past. Being sponsored, he says, or lent a deck for this event.
So please can I borrow a deck from locals?
Yeah. We're starting the turn off here with a spinning wheel kick. A 1 for 4 with go again.
Do you love this card or hate this card? I always forget.
I'm not a big fan of this one.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. Zen player myself. Didn't used to like it much in Zen, but a necessary evil to battle through some Enigma orders, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
But look, maybe a little bit better in Katsu. We like to present a breakpoint on early on so that we can potentially get our Katsu trigger.
Get your ability online.
Spinning Wheel Kick. One of the cards we combo with Spinning Wheel Kick itself.
What?
However, that's going to be it for the turn.
Yep.
A 2-card 4. This is that CNC may be throwing a spanner in the works.
Yeah, not great. Not great, but just blocking out that damage early on as you can. Splattered Skull, one of my newly founded hated cards. Played into a Rhinar in the last ProQuest season, ProQuest Singapore. Made it to the top 8. My first game was against another local, Jess Swandale, on Rhinar, and splattered skull while I was playing Azalea. Absolutely annihilated me, I think, is the safe way of putting it on broadcast. But this one is just going to be 6. No additional effect here, no intim as of yet, but still a card in hand, still a card in arsenal. Could do some cheeky instant speed discarding effects with things like Agile Wind-Up to be able to get the trigger on Splattered Skull. And well, there you go, I even guessed the right one.
Very nice.
Mighty Wind-Up this time round. Going to be used to discard. So, not only is a card going to get intimed here, but now that Splattered Skull is semi-confirmed to be hitting, we are going to be banishing that card and then turning it face down so it does not... I believe you actually turn it face up. So then it moves into the grave and is then destroyed. There we go. That is indeed a red 100 wins. Thank you, Chris. How many? 100 wins, as a matter of fact. That's a stinky room. Right. Equipment on Chris is a little bit out of the ordinary, I would say. I had to double check that the chess piece wasn't banned in CC. It's only Blitz that it is no longer able to be played.
Heart and Cross Trap, an absolute favourite among Katsu players.
Oh, absolutely.
We do not want to be paying for our Surging Strike Reds. That's
agreed.
For sure.
Speaking about Surging Strikes, Be Like Water allows you to name it to anything you want. Well, within reason. Head Jab, Surgeon Strike, or Twin Twisters if it hits by simply paying 1. So, opens up a number of these combo lines that you historically wouldn't have had access to if you had Be Like Water as a 0 for 3 that had no text on the combat chain.
Yeah, it's Katsu loves playing these mind games, right, with his opponent. He's like, am I going to pay 1 and change the name? Do I already have the combo card? What could I possibly be doing here? And
Jesus!
Yeah, look, he's drawing blocks already, but not from hand, which might indicate that Rhinar has something kind of spicy up his sleeve.
I mean, the fact that Savage Sash is getting blocked with here as well tells me that there's a world that's getting popped this next turn off the back of a Blood Rush. Yeah, so I have to wait and see from Carlos, the ever-experienced pilot of Rhinar. What has he got up his sleeves?
Look, we've got some good old-fashioned heroes here, and we've been playing some good old-fashioned Flesh and Blood, sending some 2 for 6s and that sort of stuff backwards and forwards at each other. But things are potentially about to change in this game, as we've got a few cards for our Katsu player, and we've got a full grip for our Rhinar player. That looks to me like a red card.
Yeah, Ancestral Harmony just got pitched. So it's just going to come in with the Kadachi. Now we've got a Gust Wave of the Second Wind. This is, was this Underwhelming Gust Wave when they got released?
It was Underwhelming Gust Wave, yeah. And this is, Ancestral Empowerment.
Sorry.
The red one.
What did I say?
Harmony, which is the absolutely, completely fair and not busted at all blue one.
Oh, yeah, the Enigma one.
Enigma?
Is that not the Enigma card?
No, the blue that Zen used to play that banishes from the top of the deck.
Oh, that's also busted.
Yeah, it is. Well, depends. So look, we've got a 0 for 4 here. No combo, so no go again. So just a nice little wounding blow for our Katsu player here.
This will be the first time the attack action card has hit this turn. Katsu can trigger, but no card to discard in hand. And no go again currently, unless you want to crack the Breeze Riders. But they haven't blocked with yet, so just a 0 for 4. Going to move on, and we are going to be discarding an Agile Wind-Up at the end of Chris's turn to be able to get that agility. This turn could probably go relatively wide. Now it's starting with not only a might for the pump, but the agility as well. I don't know what we're going to be getting, but it's going to be damage either way.
So one of the best things you can do. There it is. I was just about to mention.
There it is.
The Savage Feast is one of the best things you can do with an agility token in Rhinar. And look, we're going to get the discard, causing an Imtim, causing a draw, 2 floating. We're going to have a Claw coming in as well, most likely. It's almost like a mini Blood Rush turn.
It is. It's a 1-cost 6 power Blood Rush.
Yeah.
Apart from it's a 1-cost 7 power Blood Rush with Go Again.
Going to Intim as well here. So Intimidate, one of these mechanics that historically is it good? Is it bad?
LSS is terrified of Intimidate, is basically what it comes down to.
They kind of have to be, because it's the worst mechanic in the game
until it's the best one.
Until it wins you the game. So
it's, oh no, my hand does 7 damage. Oh, but my opponent has 2 cards in hand because they've run out of deck. Okay, double Intim and 7 damage, you're on 7. Can I win?
Yeah.
No!
We've seen a bit more. We've seen a bit more of Rhinar played recently. Because,
yeah, absolutely.
Because we've got few decks in the format that have enjoyed blocking quite a lot. So Rhinar's always here to mess up that blocking math.
Sure.
Claw coming in for 3 here. 2 cards remaining.
Yep. Card in hand, card in arsenal. This could be pitch, play the arsenal card. This could be pitch, swing the claw. Hell, it could be both.
Yeah, if we've got...
It's not both.
Ooh.
Oh, that's even better. Hello. Swing big. 2 for 8.
Swing big.
But Callum, it has a downside.
Mm.
If you full block it, your opponent gets quicken.
Yeah,
it's balanced. It's fine.
Yeah. There are some decks that make use of the quicken a little bit better than Katsu, that's for sure.
For sure. When all of your cards say go again and you have something on the in sip in your equipment that says you can give your combo cards go again, I mean, you don't really need the quicken. So no real reason to block this one, I say, Chris. Take 8.
Yeah, it's a big chunk of life. Already down to 27. Wondering whether maybe it's worth just putting the rest of the cards in front of this just to preserve some life total. But no, we're going to take the full 8.
We really did take the 8.
Down
That's
to
crazy.
19. This game could be over quicker than we expect, Carl.
Fair enough. Okay, Chris is going for blood. Just looks like he's explaining the potential blocking effects that he has on his equipment. So, of course, you got the breaking scales, the ever-forgotten trigger by all attacking players, the Breeze Rider boots, and, of course, the Mopple, the Master of the Pouching links. We are going to be getting a yellow a blue pitch this time around for the spinning wheel kick, which is coming in as a 1 for 4 go again. Still trying to activate Katsu at some point in this game.
Bit of glare in the pitch zone on Chris's side, so very generously of him showing us what colour that pitch was. So,
Chief, I'm going to be real with you. You can show me the colour. I still do not know what that card does.
So we're going to get a Beast Within and a Apex Bonebreaker block here. Going to create a Might on defense. Very nice for our Rhinar player here. These Might tokens creating some awkward breakpoints on cards like Command and Conquer, maybe?
Yeah, up to 7 is absolutely brutal. It's a reason that Ira loves playing that card, right? Being able to just go Kadachi for 1, CNC for 7 is a pretty decent 2-card play. And a nice little pump over up to 5. But actually, no, this doesn't go over the top, does it? This is a 3 and a 2 block. So just looking for potentially an out for the rest of this.
We're going to cycle. We're going to cantrip a card here with this Ancestral Empowerment. I bet it was maybe hoping a D-React would cover this and he'd get over the top maybe. Could have, in theory, gone over the top again with breaking scales, but doesn't look like it's explosive of enough.
It's not big enough, is it? Right.
No. But look.
Flutter Fist.
Looks like it's a blue one, though.
Yeah,
only 2 damage coming in. Katsu is a deck that, in the past, has been kind of deemed as an aggro deck, right? But the reality is he's more of a combo deck.
Yeah.
This Mask of the Pouncing Links, Heart and Cross Strap, sort of big blowout 1 turn that's going to come in at some point in this game, hopefully. I mean, the life totals doesn't look good for Katsu, but that could all turn around in the space of 1 turn cycle.
Absolutely. Seasoned veterans of TLTMN, both of them playing in previous seasons, if I'm not mistaken. Well,
we have the Command and Conquer.
Look at that one. Have you watched this game before? You watched this one before me? What's going on?
I promise this is our first take.
19 sees 30 right now. Chris with a 11 HP deficit with 7 down range, soon to be hitting him square in the face unless he full covers. And it is indeed going to be the full coverage with the breaking scales, of course.
Look,
those early pieces of equipment blocking 1 still and having an effect.
That's what they're here for, right? That's what your equipment's there for, to save that arsenal, which has been there for a couple of turns now.
I don't know what it is. Retrace the Path going to get pitched this time round, and we're going to be swinging in a Kadachi 4-1, opening up those combat chains, but notably no Mom in this deck. So going to that Chain Link 3 doesn't matter.
Not quite as scary. I'm hearing rumblings, Carl, of this Retrace the Past card being pretty good with our Bonds combat lines and all that stuff that's starting to come out again.
Creep
now.
Back in. Yeah. I mean, look, the Bonds unbanning opens up so many avenues. Ryan, one of the other guys from Copper TCG we were talking to the other day, massive Katsu fan, and was sharing with us all of the possible lines and all of the maximum damage that you can now do now that essentially Katsu's been given a little bit more leeway to get involved with the metagame with that recent unbanning. Unfortunately for Chris right now, though, this isn't the turn that he's going to get to go crazy. It is just going to be a Kadachi into another underwhelming Gust Wave. The Gust Wave of the second wind, just for a 0 for 4.
Yeah, and look, Rhinar is probably kind of happy with this trade.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, the longer these games go, the more time you get to find those ever looming Blood Rush bellows that can really do some nasty damage.
The fact that he's done 21 damage so far, and yet to see a Blood Rush bellows. Of course, we had the mini one earlier on, but it's still not its big brother. It's still not the full powerhouse that we know is still looming on the sidelines for Carlos. I believe still 3 cards in hand. A lot of equipment available as well. And, well, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Here comes the Blood Rush bellows, discarding a 6. Intiming on the stack, and then going to be drawing 2, buffing all of those brute attacks for the rest of the turn by 2. Could probably be a Savage Sash pop here, depending on what the hand is.
Possibly, yeah. Like it's not the ideal Blood Rush. Like, you're not holding 2 cards.
There's no arsenal.
There's no arsenal, yeah. So, you know, it could be still going to be a good chunk of damage, but, you know, you could end up in your nightmare scenario here if you're a Rhinar player of drawing 2 red cards off the top, which is anything but ideal.
Claw for 5. Go again, triggered off the back of discarding the mighty wind-up from Blood Rush.
Thinking about getting some equipment blocking here, trying to keep that life total healthy. We have still got the Savage Sash on board for Rhinar as well. So a lot of tools, including that Scowling Flesh Bag, which can cause nightmares for any go-wide deck. So
Absolutely.
A lot of tools here for Rhinar.
Oh,
a Blood Rush pitch
that's
here.
so rough.
Not what you want to see. But another 5 damage.
What does that mean this final card is then? I mean, I have no clue.
Could be
It could be another Blood Rush? Like, actually?
It could be something like a Barraging Beatdown.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
A red attack that don't want to play, would rather set up for another big turn, maybe.
I suppose the question is, if it is a red attack that requires a discard, the other card in hand being the Blood Rush, why would you want to discard the Blood Rush? Right?
Yeah,
Just
possibly.
pitch it back into the deck if you feel like you're going to be able to make the game go longer.
Oh, we've had the Heart and
Here
Cross
we
Strike
go.
broken. We've got the Surging Strike red. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm clueless. Am I blocking this? Am I not blocking this? Who knows?
I mean, if you block it, it ends up being the wrong decision. If you don't block it, it's the wrong decision.
Yeah.
Like, you can get punished in both avenues, and you kind of just have to take a bit of a punt here to say, okay, does my hand convert into more than X amount of damage, which X is the highest amount of damage that Katsu can do off the back of a Surging line, right?
Yeah.
But Surging is the starter you need to see. It's the reason you run that Heart and Cross strap. Plenty of options, right? You've got your Katsu trigger available here. You've got your Mopple trigger available here as well. If you want to go grab anything and everything from your deck to be able to set up a crazy turn, this is the turn to do it.
Could even be looking down the barrel of a Dishonor here, right? No more Intimidates for the rest of the game, maybe.
Very true.
Retrace the past, unlocking that line again after bombs.
I was trying to work out what that was, but it's Retrace the Past, right?
Yeah.
That names the bombs.
Yeah. But look, your opponent still got your Katsu opponent still has 4 cards available. I believe there's 3 in hand, 1 in arsenal. Do you hedge that he probably already still has the Whelming Gust Wave? Do you block this to try and deny the Katsu trigger of getting the Whelming Gust Wave? Seems like a risky proposition, whatever you want to do, but seems to me like the right time to put the Flesh Bag in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here it comes. Here comes your 5 block Intim trigger on the stack here. So, Intimidate. If this has been committed, I don't know if Carlos is fully committed here with this being his block. Still, no, looks like it's now been locked in. So 5 block into the 5 hole, and here comes your Intim. This could debilitate Chris's turn, depending on what gets banished.
So yeah, we've got a blocking 5 on the 5. The only way we can push this over is the Ancestral Empowerment that we've seen 2 of already, I believe. Notably, Breaking Scale is not able to be used on Surging Strike because it doesn't have combo itself. It was in Arsenal all along.
Oh, you don't need to search your deck if it's just sitting there. Really nice Whelming Gust Wave here, coming in as a 0 for 4. Go again if it hits, draw a card. Already seen a number of defense given here, right? The Alpha Rampage, the Scowling Flesh Bag. There's still 3 cards in hand to be able to decline this draw trigger. Just blocking 3 right now, but looks like the arms soon to be committed on the top of it as well. Wow, actually respecting the breaking scales here as well, blocking the 5 with the legs.
Really smart. Really heads up play from Carlos here. Makes you wonder whether he's stared down the barrel of a few Whelming Gust Waves in the past, maybe.
I mean, if he's played ever since Rhinar was out, right, with how much he loves the big green machine, then, I mean, hey, he's probably well-versed in this matchup, even with the amount of additional support that Chris and Katsu have got over the years.
Look, however, this is a lot of armor committed for Katsu here from Rhinar here already. So, maybe you don't get 1 million damage through this turn, but your options are much more plentiful going forward.
I mean, Tenacity goes crazy here.
Yeah, very possibly. I mean, I don't know how many Katsu decks are playing Tenacity, but...
What, Tenacity's a 0 for 7 right now if he plays it, so...
He's searchable off Mopple. So
very true,
all we need to do is get an attack action card to hit here.
Don't close the combat chain, correct?
Yeah.
He's thinking about Katsu here. He keeps lifting it up and down. Does he have a pump? He has the pump and the breaking scales. He can get it to 6, and then it hits, and, then it opens up everything.
Here. Could we see a Razor Reflex?
Oh, God, that would be crazy. I suppose the issue with it being Razor Reflex, right, is the fact that you can then only trigger the Mopple instead of triggering the Katsu, because you need that card for this card, right?
Yeah, 100%. You're right, yeah.
But hey, Mopple Tenacity here would be crazy. Honestly, that would be one of the craziest plays I've seen in ages.
Definitely a thinker here. I'm sure Chris was possibly hoping that Carlos would block this turn a little bit less generously. He's probably hoping to get at least one of these hit triggers through. Is
there a world that the card that was intimed was like
the next piece of the
puzzle?
Maybe,
like
possibly.
Because this turn changes quite a lot. Because let's say it is Razor Reflex or something along those lines. It's clear. It is retraced the path. Oh my God. Okay, so this is very, very close to being the entire combo here. Yeah. So when this attacks with a card with Gustwave in its name as the last attack, this combat chain, which it was in Whelming, name a card, then this gets that name +2 and go again. So what, you name bonds here for the Dishonor line?
Well, look, I know the Dishonor line. It's the one that I've...
Descending Gustwave.
Okay, maybe there's a line that I'm not quite so familiar with.
That is that one, by the way, people wonder.
Does Dishonor need to have Descending Gustwave? Or does it need any name with Gustwave?
Might be card with Gustwave, but...
So maybe we're not going for Dishonor here. Unless we've somehow got Bonds of Ancestry in our hand when we very well probably shouldn't have.
Doesn't that cost 2 anyway?
Not if there was a Descending Gustwave first. Cost 2 less.
Does it really?
Yeah, pretty good.
My God.
So look, we're being hit here, and we have 3 hit triggers on the stack.
Oh my God.
We have a Mopple, a Katsu, and Breeze Rider Boots all on the stack. Are we choosing to crack any or all of these cards?
Big decision point right now. So
Carlos still on 23 though. It's still a good chunk of life to get through.
It is a lot. Okay, looks like there was some thinking time to be had.
Katsu trigger happening here.
Discard of the Be Like Water.
Yeah.
So many options to be able to name different cards in this hand.
Yeah, ninjas really like searching their deck for anything they like. Yeah.
Well, you say that, but this is the first time it's happened, right?
Yeah.
This is like, we know that Katsu loves to do it, but Carlos done a fantastic job of stopping those circumstances from lining up.
Really leveraging that fantastic Brute equipment suite up until this point in the game.
Yeah.
It's what it's there for, right? It's part of the reason why you pick the class. Brute with one of the best equipment suites in the game. Love Scowling Fleshbag and Bonebreaker.
Yeah, Scowling Fleshbag is crazy.
Can't forget about Scabs.
No, true. Scowling Fleshbag is also really fun back in that Lexi meta when it was released. Because I could go in response Voltaire. Nice Imtune trigger, bozo. And then move on with my life. Oh, is that?
That is Bonds, isn't it? Maybe this
is
game
it Bonds?
Was this game played after the ban?
Maybe.
I think the window to finish playing the game was
it was after, right?
Yeah,
so I think it was the day of it. So oh my God, everything is being popped right now. Breathe Ice Boots gonna be used. Attack action cards, a combo game, go again this turn.
Got Wham Bam, thank you, ma'am. I
This
think
is
we're gonna
everything.
have a big old chunk of life taken from our Rhinar player here if he wants to hold these cards to block this Dishonor at the end of the turn.
Callum, there's still a card in Banish. He's done all of this with one less card than he would usually need.
Yeah, he had been intimed this turn already.
There's
Makes
still
you
2
wonder
cards in
what
hand for
it
Carlos.
could have possibly been.
Yeah, but what if it was the other Dishonor? Dishonor isn't legendary, is it?
No.
This is like, I'm asking these questions because it has been ages since I've seen a Katsu get this close to a Dishonor line.
Yeah, well, you better get used to it because it's likely going to happen
Yeah,
again
absolutely.
soon.
Well, here comes your bonds. To remind everyone, if a card with Gustwave in its name was the last attack played this combat chain, it costs 2 less. Crazy, by the way. And has go again. When this attacks, you may banish a card with combo from your graveyard. If you do, search your deck for a card with the same name, banish it, shuffle, play it on this combat chain. So not only is Bonds going to be like, yeah, this is pretty good. It's a 0 for 4 with Go Again. It's going to get another card from his grave, search his deck for it, and then chuck it onto the combat chain as well. Let's go Flutterfist here.
Yeah, so look, this is why we've cracked the Breeze Rider boots at this point in the game, right? We're not just sending this Dishonor.
Oh.
You block this Dishonor out, fine with me. I'm going to Go Again, and I'm going to send another Flutterfist at you. But look, if we just give one card and this Savage Sash to cover the 4 breakpoint, those breaking scales are still there looming.
Yeah, no, you need to give 2 cards here. Like, you need to rip absolutely everything. Carlos is... Oh my god, Dishonor hit! Oh my god, Carlos literally just removed the hero from the entire game. Dishonor's hit. It hit for 4. It brings Carlos to 15, and the hero's offline. That's crazy. I've never seen a Dishonor hit before.
Look, what did we say about Intimidate earlier in the cast, Carl?
It's either great or bad.
One of the worst mechanics in the game until it's not, but we just might not find out if it is good or not.
Carlos just took an additional 4 on Flutterfist. What does Carlos have in his hand in Arsenal? This is crazy. He just took so much damage. What was he on, like 24, 25 at the beginning of this turn?
What if? Maybe is Carlos playing some Wild Ride, some Bare Fang, some no blocking cards?
Oh my god, there's no way. Maybe these cards literally do not block. Maybe it's just not good enough. We're seeing the Savage Sash being popped here. This does read Wild Ride. Might be in cracked as well.
No.
Swing big first. What is happening?
Now, Carl, why might you want your
oh
swing
my
big
god,
to
for
cost
2
1?
floating? Is this pummel?
I'm running the numbers.
There's
no extra action point.
This is coming in for 9, not 45, notably.
If it was 45, I think this game might be done and dusted. But Chris can't no blocks this.
No, he has to respect it. There's no equipment left either. He didn't get the 1 block off the Breeze Riser boots either early in the game, so that could be relevant.
Imagine the mind games if this isn't pummel.
Well, he just takes 9 and goes to 1.
Crack Sash just to threaten it. That would be incredible.
I mean, only a madman gets hit by Dishonor when you got cards in hand. So, hey, maybe the madman of Carlos is just like, I'm in your head, I'm going for it. It is going to be blocking 9. It looks like 3 cards on the combat chain. Carlos, please do it. Play the pummel. It's going to be red as well. It's the maximum amount of damage that you can add here. It goes up to 13. The discard effect is available. Oh my god.
What a crazy turn cycle this has been.
These last 2 turns have been nuts. Discarding another card. The hand's completely gone. Chris ends up taking some damage. Oh.
Now look, if you're a Rhinar player here, right, and you're like, you get your opponent to low life totals. Usually, Intim is going to be one of your ways to close this game
I agree.
right?
Where's this hero gone?
I mean, you've got cards that say Intim on them anyway. You've got barraging beatdowns. You've got Blood Rush that just says, doesn't matter if I Intim you or not.
Yep.
I'm going to threaten 20 plus damage. And this Katsu deck, no armor to speak of. We've not seen any flick flacks. Where are the defensive tools?
Mid-range Katsu is a myth, clearly, and we are just going to be playing with the cards in hand and chucking them down range when needed. Looks like a little conversation between the two, see if there's any final end step stuff here from Carlos. He passes back after having a full grip, 4 cards in hand, a card in the arsenal here for Chris. He draws back up as well. Intim could be crazy here, but oh wait, no siree.
Is there a world where the way to close this game out relies on the back of our old friend Scabskin Leathers, Carl?
Oh, listen, it's a Rhinar player. You gotta roll the scabs. We've only seen 1 roll so far. Notably, usually when you represent how much AP you have, you put a dice on your hero. Where's he putting the dice? Just in the empty zone that's in the middle of the TLTMN map from last season.
Maybe he just picks his favourite mandible claw and puts it on there.
You know what? This is my hero now. Oh, Carlos having a little bit of a think here. Looks like, well, the fact that Rhinar players are having to think means that this probably is a little bit of an interesting decision point.
Look, Rhinar himself, maybe not the most intellectual character in the world of Wraith, but some of our Rhinar players,
cerebral, some might call them.
I've heard rumours of this hero being somewhat cerebral.
Some big thinking going on. And honestly, Carlos is, maybe he's looking at a hand that goes, damn, this Intim's a lot if I had my hero ability.
Maybe he's looking at a hand that doesn't convert without a scabs roll.
Oh my god, it's just going to be wait, hold up. A 4-card grip with a CNC. Oh, but it's pitching 2 reds. Okay.
Now this agile wind up on the discard a couple of turns ago would have intimidated. However, not now. And look, we see a bit of actual Katsu hate in the pitch zone.
Yeah.
In Amnesia. Did Carlos know that he was that he may face into a Katsu in the in
So I'll
this
put this
league?
in my deck, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just. Oh, that's rough if you're Carlos in this situation. But I suppose it is still presenting exact lethal. There still has to be some level of respect given from Chris here. Most likely 2 cards, both almost certainly blocking 3, just to be able to hold onto effectively a 3-card hand.
But look, Chris had the option here to pitch this agile wind-up to play this Command and Conquer,
Yeah.
and he would have held a card for Arsenal. But he's just saying, you know what? I
6.
want my 4 cards next turn.
Yeah.
I want an agility that's more important to me than an Arsenal. Maybe he's just thinking, I'm not going to let myself live and die by the scabs.
No.
Which, you know, some might say is the coward's way out.
But live by the scabs, die by the scabs.
Yeah, I've definitely done that once.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've seen you do it once or twice. Carlos, going to be presenting 6 right now. And Chris, just got to think, okay, what are the weakest 2 cards in my hand? Or do I just chuck one of them in front of it and keep the 3 strongest in my hands right now to be able to remove the
there's
Arsenal?
a few Katsu cards, a fair number of Katsu cards.
The
that block
dishonor
too.
on the hero that's a great jump.
I thought, wow, he went and found a dishonor, but no, that's on his phone.
Okay, so actually 3 cards being blocked.
Yeah, we've
with
got
here.
a few 2-blocks in our Katsu decks here, so
That's Ancestral Harmony.
that is Ancestral
Yeah.
Harmony.
Another dishonor being pitched here to swing the Kadachi 4-1. Dishonor, of course, being a
And we are
0
only-
cost.
Yeah, we are only 11 Kadachis away
Oh my
from
God.
this game being closed out.
It's
hard.
feasible. It's possible. It's doable. It's
Game
winnable.
this game looks like it could be over soon, but let's hope it is, because Carlos might not have a lot of battery left on his phone, and we need to see this dishonor.
It's a very bright dishonor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another Kadachi.
Do we have a Chain Link 3 in the arsenal? We're reaching
Just
for
thinking
it.
about it. I mean, with one floating, probably, right? No, doesn't look like it. Just going to be closing the combat
Try
chain,
and set
saving
up
it
for a
there.
bigger hand. Now we do have a 4-card grip from our Rhinar player here, with an agility being cracked.
Could it be a flick-flack in Arsenal, and that's why he had to defend it because of the CNC? We haven't
Maybe,
seen any, right?
Possibly. Flick Flack, notably very powerful on a Blood Rush turn,
Yeah.
covering the majority of the damage that comes in from those claws. Oh, we love a Savage Feast with an agility. Pitching a sink below.
Sink. Okay, so
Maybe looking to draw into a resource card here.
yep. Roll of the dice here from Chris. 2 out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fell off the screen, but we got the 1.
Good job, he's not a brute player, eh?
Yeah, very true, very true. So going to be getting rid of a splattered skull, I believe. No Imtomb trigger, notably, due to a certain dishonor.
Rhinar's looking on from across the table.
Yes.
Going, God, I wish I could intimidate now.
Oh god, I wish I could intimidate my opponent. It's just
Yeah.
simply not happening. But drawing a card here with Savage Feast. So back up to 2, only the sink below being pitched away. We are going to be getting a block from the Descending Gust Wave. And
Going to
taking
2.
3, yeah, down to 2.
Now, I don't know about you, Carl, but there's one rule of thumb that people say about playing against Rhinar. Oh, that's
Is
two
that
more
2
reds.
Is that 2 runners he's pitching as well? I think
Possibly.
they're both runners.
Possibly, yeah.
Oh my god! So he's going to 2 against a Rhinar, and you were mentioning a certain phrase, a certain thing that you need to be worried about. What's that?
Now, there's a little card called Reckless Swing.
What does that
in-
do?
It's a blue defense reaction
Yep.
that, as an additional cost to play it, you
Yep.
have to discard a random card from your hand.
Okay.
If that card has 6 power,
Mm.
you deal 2 damage to your opponent.
Sorry, do what?
Deal 2 whole points of damage to your opponent.
That's like 6 value.
That's like
That's
Chris's
death.
entire life.
That's
total.
true. But obviously he runs Sigil Solace, right? He's a Katsu. Obviously he runs these random fringe cards that would definitely combo with his deck well.
Now, is Carlos completely blue flooded? Completely red flooded?
yeah.
Or has he held his blue in the Reckless Swing
Oh my god,
to
maybe.
go to the arsenal?
I don't think he has any more cards available, right? Pitch 2.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
No.
Maybe we're just hoping to rip it off the top. Is it even in the deck?
I mean, it could not be, right? We've seen a number of brute players, and when I say a number, I mean my locals, who only run 1 Reckless Swing. Are you a fan of a single Reckless Swing or multiple?
In Rhino, I like a couple.
Okay.
I like a couple. It's a nice little endgame wing con to play to. In your Levias and your KOs, a few less than that, probably. But
Okay. Another Surging Strike going to be coming on in. Carlos, Intimately aware of this card now, off the back
yeah,
of the
100%.
combo from earlier on. Is that a test of strength? No, test of might?
Test of agility.
Oh, that one.
Isn't it?
I literally got the other two wrong. That's
Yeah,
insane.
You nearly got 100% of tests other than...
Clash.
Yeah, we're
Does
going to
indeed
get a
clash.
clash win for Rhinar here. So we've got an agility being made.
That could be very, very relevant.
Yeah, 100%.
Descendant. Is it red or is it yellow? It looks yellow to me.
Yeah, gonna buy a card one way or another.
Has to. Comes in for, what, 5?
For 4 on the yellow.
Oh, 4 on the yellow, yes.
However, look, there's no cards left. So there's no Katsu trigger.
My cards in hand.
There's no Katsu trigger available. It's just damage for our Katsu player here. We do have a Kodachi that can swing in after this. Breaking scales always looming. Not going to be committed here. Kodachi for 1.
Kodachi for 1, sir. May I interest you in a Kodachi for 1? Yes, take that on the chin. Goes to 4. Carlos in a pretty frail condition right now, as is Chris. This game has gone much longer than I think either of us anticipated.
Yeah.
Of course, no Intim available with a lack of hero from Carlos. Completely disappeared. A pitch into an amnesia with Go Again. This coming in for 6. Now, you can still swing a claw off the back of this.
Yeah.
Of course, won't have Go Again due to no discard, and that is exactly what we're going to be seeing. Just a claw for 3.
Now I'm somewhat surprised that our Rhino player here opted not to go for the scab skins roll, because if we had was that a yellow beatdown pitch?
No, it's a blue beatdown.
So we would have had 2 swings in there. 1 2-block would have spelt doom for our Katsu player this turn.
Would have indeed.
And it was a 2-block in the hand, the 100 wins being pitched. So a 2 AP on scabs would have been the game
enough. But 0 AP would have probably lost in the game.
Possibly. Our Rhino player is getting mighty close to what we call in the biz the Kodachi lock.
Yes, I mean he's almost in it now, right? Like 4 HP remaining, can swing 2 Kodachis, go down to 2 if he takes any damage from these. I mean, a single card and 2 Kodachis essentially locks Carlos out of the game until he finds that elusive reckless swing, which could have snuck its way into his hand this turn. We're getting very deep into the deck now and still yet to see it. And notably, Carlos as a Rhino player rarely shuffles his deck. I believe it's Dig Up Dinner being one of the only cards that actually does that, right? Sand Sketch Plan.
Yeah. I wonder if.
Oh, another one.
Now this is a bit of an overcommittal for a
Just
Kodachi,
a little
but
bit.
the agility is always good.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
we
going
get
to
the
win. Clash of Might.
I'm sure Carlos is wishing he really didn't have to pitch that other Blood Rush Bellow to the bottom of the deck earlier in the game. We are likely 1 Blood Rush away from sealing this game out.
Absolutely. Especially with the instant trick. Never mind.
Yeah.
Claw.
Claw for 3 Go Again.
Off the back of the agility. No discard this time round. Break like water.
Break tide, I think.
Tide. Something to do with water.
So look, we're converting
3/3.
3 into 3. Gonna take 2 cards here from our Katsu player. Has he got a handful of 2-blocks? That would be very
Pretty
nice
brutal.
for Carlos.
Lord
but
of
no.
Wind.
An Arsenal card. Can be confident that that's not the reckless swing, because we would have seen it last turn.
Very true.
Should it have been in the hand?
It's the Clash of Points?
Oh, possibly.
It's one of the clashes that was revealed off top of the deck. Well, lock in, folks. You're going to be seeing this turn and turn again now. Kodachi for 1, provided Chris continues to have those 0-cost blues or yellows to be able to swing both Kodachis. And then with that additional card available as well, could potentially present Breakpoint or just even chuck a 3 down.
Now, if we get Carlos down to 1 off the back of these Kodachis, all of a sudden these underwhelming Gust Waves aren't looking so underwhelming.
No, they're looking
Breakpoint, right?
I am thoroughly whelmed by those Gust Waves at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
A shelter! Surely that's the discard effect.
Yeah, very nice. Going to prevent all abilities for these Kodachis to get their value in. Chris must be thinking, am I setting up for a big hand here? Or
okay.
Four on the Surging Strike. Now, Breakpoint, not so much of a breakpoint when Shelter of the Storm has been discarded.
Very defense reaction heavy deck from Carlos.
Still lethal on the stack here.
We've seen a shelter, we've seen a sink pitched earlier on. Of course, we've only seen individual versions of them. We've not seen multiples, like full play sets. Still a number of cards.
One defense reaction that I'm sure Chris is thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Please don't play it, please. Is basically Chris's thought process at this point.
I'm sure, yeah.
What's the absolute fear that goes through your head when you see when you see a Kadachi get played, your opponent goes no blocks and then plays a defense reaction? It's like, oh my god, thank God it's shelter.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, someone's been pleased to see a shelter of the Storm.
But other than when they pack them.
Yeah, very true.
Thinking on the blocks here. Can't say no blocks. Would go to 0.
We could. It's a legal play.
It is illegal.
You shouldn't. Having a big think here. What one of these 3 block cards in my hand do I want to be committing? Oh, another shelter! Okay, that is not what I thought was sitting in Arsenal.
Which means that the first shelter has basically been one
nullified.
value, one block. Needs something that's going to take a good chunk of cards here from Carlos. Something like one of those swing bigs coming in for.
Absolutely.
This is not what we want to be seeing here. So this is just coming in for 5 if this is the blue.
I believe so. Just 5.
Still
no floating.
Going to take 2 cards, and the longer this game goes, if Carlos does have that ever-elusive Reckless Swing in the deck, every 4 cards drawn is cards closer.
We're getting dangerously close to a point here with Carlos where not only is he Kadachi locked, but he's breaking scales locked.
Yeah.
Where the second that we see Kadachi, and then a 0-cost combo card, he has to overblock it or he dies.
Yeah.
5 block here. 6 block right now, actually.
I believe Surging Strike might be.
Never mind.
Can't
5
remember.
block. Either way, Chris is not dead.
Covered. Yeah, all that matters.
Something tells me Kadachi.
The Harmony entering the pitch zone. Now, we have a little bit of wiggle room with these Kadachis. We've got one more turn. One more turn of no blocking these Kadachis. But like you said, the breaking scales, forever looming. Sure, we'd love to see one of those spinning wheel kicks or fluster fists or something like that to close out the combat chain here.
It's the quickest Kadachi I've ever seen chucked onto the combat chain.
Yeah.
Carlos took the 1 on the first one as well. He's going to go down to 2. He has a feeling he's going to be able to close this game out here. Just leaking a little bit of damage. Wants to efficiently block this final card, whatever it is. Taking the 1. It looks like he is down to 1. 1 plays 1 right now.
Break Tide.
Break Tide. How much does this do? Only 2, right?
So a 3 block will cover this, even with the breaking scales. Rhinar a deck with plenty of 3 blocks.
A number of no blocks as well, though. Notably, we haven't seen any of those right now, so it looks like Carlos isn't playing into that line. A sink below is a bit of overcommittal here, but it still does the job. Potentially looking to rid one of those non-efficient cards from Carlos's hand to the bottom of the deck and draw a new one. But no trigger on the sink below. Carlos has a 3-card hand and a card in Arsenal, starting with a Blood Rush. Now, this would usually be game over if Rhinar was online, but he's not. He's gone. He's dishonoured. Removed from his camp.
Yeah. So, again, Wreck-a-Romp, the beautiful blue 6 that it is, going to the graveyard for this Blood Rush. Coming in for 5 on the claw.
I think this is it.
2 cards in hand. Card in Arsenal. How many reds have we drawn?
Here comes 5. And an Amnesia as well. So it is just going to be flat 6.
Did we draw enough 3 blocks to cover this?
I
believe
no,
Descendant Gustwave is a 2 block, I believe.
Oh,
so that is the game.
Brutal way to be able to close out the game. A fantastic one, both from Chris and from Carlos. I mean, we saw someone get dishonoured. We saw Rhinar happily get dishonoured.
Yeah.
It was one off the back of that first Blood Rush that was pitched earlier on. It finally came back round, but it wasn't buffing brute attacks. No. It was just hoping and praying that there was a 2 block in hand for Katsu, and they do indeed exist.
100%.
Man, that was a crazy game.
Yeah, that I don't know if it's confirmation bias of when I played my game or what, but I was not expecting that Bonds of Ancestry to be searched off of Katsu.
No.
I completely forgot that these games can have been played after the ban list. So look, it's always fun to see a Dishonor line, a combo line played out, and the Retrace the Past really unlocking that combo line there. But just shy of getting that last bit of damage over the top. Look, if that breaking scales had been committed earlier in the game, even just for the value of 1 damage, maybe we're looking at a different game. But
yeah, absolutely.
I can 100% see why Chris is holding on to it for
the
potentially the lethal end game. But yeah,
absolutely. Well, commiserations to Chris. Congratulations to Carlos. Even without a hero, he was able to get it across the line. Thank you very much for watching this episode of The League That Means Nothing. I've been Kyle. This has been Callum. We'll catch you very, very soon. Peace.